Hello there my fellow holotable heroes and welcome to another SWGOH video. So I'm back here with another Conquest video. So now we finally have access to the hard mode here in the Conquest after the initial normal difficulty that we ran for the past couple of weeks. And in that one I covered all the sectors, all the boss battles from each sector, how I completed the feats. So I'm going to do the same thing for hard mode now, because it seems like in this exhibition season there is no really much difference between boss battles between normal and hard. You're facing the same team, you have to looks like get the same feats, but then some of the feats just have increased numbers, so they might be slightly more difficult to achieve. We'll see as the sector progresses. So in this one I will show you how I completed all 3 feats using a single team in a single attempt, so no need to waste your energy trying multiple attempts to get multiple feats. So let's just get into it. Obviously we got here same team as in the normal, but this time they're not gear 12, they're all relic 4. But obviously if you are a player with my GP and you are doing hard mode, probably relic 4 still shouldn't pose much of a threat. And that's all down to the amazing data discs that we collect along the way. Probably by now you're aware of already the deployable cooling systems data disk that allows your unit to reduce their cooldowns every time they gain a buff. So obviously you will want to have that equipped, and then any sort of data discs, like I've got offensive buffs, so at the end of the start of the turn the unit will gain offense up, critical damage up, critical chance up. So at the moment unfortunately that's the only buff data disc that I was able in this account here to collect. So I won't be reducing my cooldowns as fast as I normally would, because usually I would also have the heal over time. So in that case I would be getting 5 buffs at the beginning of every turn. Now I'll just be getting 3, but we can still work with that. That's not a problem. So these are my data discs here. Obviously, as mentioned before, you want to have the cooling systems data disk and as many data discs that give you buffs at the start of the turn, so then your Vader can keep going over and over again into Merciless and using his Force Crush, AoE, applying dots and things like that. Now for the feats themselves, as mentioned before, they're very similar as in normal mode, but the devastating strike here you need to deal at least 200k damage, whereas there I think was 100k, so you need to do double damage in a single hit. Obviously with Vader's Culling Blade, 100k, 200k, his Culling Blade does over 1,000,000 damage easy once you stack a lot of dots. Crush them feat. Now in normal you had to defeat 3 enemies in a single turn. Now here you have to defeat 4 enemies. And finally chain attack, there you had to in normal mode take 10 consecutive turns, till you have to take 15. But again, because of Vader he'll getting all the bonus turns, that's not a problem. So maybe the only challenging one here that might be slightly more challenging is crush them. Okay, so this is the team here that I'll be using in this video. I got Vader here, Watt and Throne. Now these 3 guys are absolutely necessary for this to work. The 4th and 5th are kind of optional, I think. I just put there Darth Revan for the Fear and Bastila as well, because Bastila will give some extra potency to Vader because he's in the leader slot, so he will be able to land those dots more reliably. But I think that these 4th and 5th are kind of interchangeable. You can use something else if you like, but that's just what I used. But the top 3, that's the core team here that will work. Now in my team here, the way I wanted to align speeds, Revan to go first, Bastila to go second, and then I need my Vader to go. And the reason why I want my Vader to go before Thrawn, so that Thrawn still has full turn meter, basically waiting for Vader to finish doing his infinite loop of bonus turns. And then after you decide it's enough, you've got enough dots on the enemies, then you stop your infinite loop of bonus turns. And then obviously Thrawn will get an immediate turn because his speed will be just ever slightly slower than Vader's, so then he can pass turn over to Watt, and then Watt can do his magic and defeat 4 enemies in one go. Now so let me show you the speeds then here quickly on my Vader. So I have him at 253, but obviously he gains extra speed from his unique, so I'll have to do the calculation of how slow you need to make your Thrawn so that your Vader goes before. In terms of other mods, gets critical damage on him, and that's his offense. What here, his Relic 1, having speed at 315, but his speed here doesn't really matter because Thrawn will pass turn meter over to him when ready anyway, so it doesn't really matter how fast your Watt is here. And fun enough, I won't be using here Watt for his tech. I actually will not apply any tech, and as if I put weapon tech on Vader, Vader will be doing too much damage and he'll probably take the guys out before I have enough dots on them. That's why I'm not applying any tech here. Plus we're going up against Traya lead, so anytime anybody with they have tech on them, when they use special ability, Watt will assist, and with Traya lead, Watt will slowly be killing himself that way. So no tech at all required. Why we are bringing Watt in here is for his discharge energy, which does, you know, a lot of things, but most importantly, it will trigger all the damage over times on enemies. So you'll just be able to stack a lot of dots on the enemies, and then once you have enough to take them all out, swap turn meter to Watt. He will use this, then trigger all the damage over times on the enemies, and they'll just be defeated instantly. And that's why we have Watt in here for his discharge and energy ability. Thrawn here, you could actually see I removed one mod from him because I needed to make him slower. So I think my Vader was at 295 speed or something like that. So this actually I had to reduce then Thrawn, because Thrawn was over 300, but I needed him to go after my Vader. So I removed one mod from him, so his speed was at 290. And then like I said, I wanted Revan to go first, just to apply fear, just in case, you know, things go out of hand at some point. At least the enemies start their turns feared. And then Bastila there. Obviously, I wanted to make her faster than Vader, so she can put some debuffs on there. And obviously, her unique there will give extra potency to Vader, so he can reliably land those dots on his Force Crush. Alright, let's hop into battle now. So Traya there will start with a taunt. That's because of the modifier they get from this battle here. I said we do not want to put any tech on anybody, so just basic there with Watt. Apply fear on everybody now. Again, just basic. I'm not applying any tech here. Here I'll just use a shock there to dispel taunt on Sith Trooper. Probably doesn't really matter, but just for the sake of it. And now thanks to the cooling systems debuff, Vader will be able to reduce his cooldowns whenever he gets buffs, and because of another data disk that applies 3 buffs at the beginning or every turn, he'll be able to cycle through over and over through his Merciless and Force Crush. So that's what I'm just doing here now, going around a little bit, spreading the damage, waiting for Merciless to be available to use again. And the goal here is to, obviously Traya there, she's stacking lots of bonus protection through her unique, so you know, she'll be very tanky, so we leave her for the end. She's taunting as well, so the goal here is through, you know, continuous loop here with Vader, with Merciless and Force Crush, and then in between doing basics until Merciless is online again, is to get everybody's protection exhausted, so they're only there at full health. And because each damage over time debuff deals 5% health damage, so once an enemy's got no protection, only health, even if at full health, all you need on them is at least 20 dots, and then this will defeat them when Watt uses his ability that triggers dots. So that's what I'm doing here. So as you can see, we've got Nihilus is out of protection already. Now worth mentioning here that Nihilus will be gaining bonus turn meter every time you there hit Traya and Sion with some debuffs. So you know, you do want to keep removing his turn meter there. Luckily for Vader's lead, you can keep a little bit pushing back his turn meter every time you hit him. So just keep Nihilus under control, because even though his ability block, Traya will cleanse that ability block if Nihilus gets a turn. But thanks to all the bonus turns, Nihilus will never get a chance. We go, so just kind of going around here. Oh, so as you can see, everybody got now more or less now, yeah, everybody got 20 plus dots, so we are ready to go. Now I just have to go around and remove everybody's protection. So Nihilus is out of protection, Sith Assassin is out of protection, so it's only down to the real Sith Trooper and then also Cyan. As you can see there, Sith Assassin, you know, he's kind of getting low in health, so whenever you do need to hit somebody with a basic, try to target Nihilus, because if you go after Sith Assassin, you might take her out, and you don't want to do that, because remember, we have to defeat 3 enemies, and Traya, with all this bonus protection, we won't be able to take her out just yet. Vader's Calling Blade will have to do the job in the end. There we go. So we're almost in a good place now. Just Cyan to go here. Okay. There we go. Let's do another Merciless. There we go. So everybody's now looks like out of protection here. So now I just have to exit Merciless, and I do that by hitting Cyan again that I already hit, because he doesn't have that blue buff on him anymore, and this will exit your Merciless. Now you can swap turn meter here with Watt, and he can use his discharge energy, and boom, 4 of them gone. So now it's just a case of taking out Traya here, so I'll just fracture her, because if I remember correctly, also when she's stacking a bonus protection, she's also stacking offense, so potentially if she get a turn, she could one-shot somebody now, because she was stacking so much. So now just keep her fractured so she doesn't get a turn. Make sure there's a lot of debuffs on her, and obviously there are, and then whenever Vader gets chance, go into Merciless, throw the Culling Blade, and this will do way more than 200k damage. In fact, it did so much damage that the game wasn't able to process it and didn't even show the damage there. And that's how, my friends, you can complete here all 3 feats in one go with one team in hard difficulty here in the Conquest in Sector 1. Alright guys, hope you find this video useful and helpful, showing you how to do that. Again, in terms of relics and things like that, I don't think it matters all that much, just because you stack so many dots. So even if you got a low star Watt, that will still work, I think. You know, obviously you need Throne and Vader in there as well, and then that 4th and 5th slot, as you can see, Revan and Bastila didn't really bring anything, I think, to this battle, but I didn't know it was the first time I was going in, so I'm just gonna bring them as a safe net, you know, with the fear and everything, so we can keep these guys under control. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy your life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.